as I went out after the game because that Lions game was, I wasn't gonna after the Jet game. I was not staying home to watch the Lions lose, so I went out to do things. And people do come up to me in the public, and especially during the football season, and they're like, "What'd you think of the Patriots game?" And I said, and this isn't a victory lap. It's just they're not good. Like it's I don't know why everyone thought they were going to be good. It's week one. That's fine. They're not good.
Your reaction to this game depends solely on how you felt about the team going in.
Right.
If you thought this was a 9 or 10 win team, you tend to be more angry this morning. If you were more realistic and thought 6 or 7 wins, you go, okay, this was good, this wasn't good, but there's a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, and I also, the nitpicking on like the Vrabel moves prove how this team isn't any good. Down 10 that they punted with like very little time left.
They had 4th and 10 after the penalty. And they were down 10
No, it was more than 4. It was more than 4th and 10.
It was 4th and 5, and Campbell committed the false start.
Then it was 4th and 10. I have the sheet. It was, but that's the big sticking point, and it's not. And if that's the big coaching blunder in quotations that cost them the game, then you are not good, because that's hardly some decision that ended up biting you in the ass. It's not like that's why you lost the game. It's an unconventional decision based on his thoughts on the offense not being able to move the ball.
You can question it, but that wasn't the tiebreaker. That wasn't.
Of course, you can question it, but then if that's the thing you're questioning about the game, that game was already pretty much over at that point. You weren't going to score 10 points with that much time left. It just wasn't going to happen.
I was telling my son, as soon as they kicked the field goal to go up 10, I'm like, that's it, game's over. He's like, wait, there's a lot of time left. I said, there's no way this offense is scoring twice.
Just like when the Jets,
not a chance.
The Jets fumbled the kickoff return, and I said, that's the game.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know a 60-yard field goal would be required for that to happen, but it did.
That was unfortunate.
They did everything they could have done. They pushed them back. The Steelers got the ball. They pushed him back. Out of field goal range.
So
made the field goal.
Yes. John is absolutely right, though. It's all predicated on what you thought, what your level of fandom is, all that going into the season. I was with Perillo on Saturday morning, and same guy up at the Meadow at Peabody, the assistant pro up there. He's same thing to Paul, same thing to me. He's like, Hardy, 8? What? I said, oh no, I think 7. And he said the same thing to Paul. Like, Paul, 8 wins. And I didn't have time to do like the whole conversation with him, but I said, hey man, 7 wins in Hardy math is more than twice the number of wins they had last year, because I don't count the last win of the season.
Yeah. Right.
You got to be you got to settle in for this, unless you're expecting some kind of like Jaden Daniels performance out of Drake May this year and some kind of Commanders-like resurgence from this team, which I'm not. Okay, whatever. You're gonna lose some games that you may have had circled as wins or possible wins. Yeah, and you'll win some other. As in every season, there'll be at least one win against a team that you have no business beating.
Yeah, and
there'll be that. And I think if you get to 7. You should be happy with that, and there's no reason to believe they can't do that. But that start yesterday, I didn't come away from it thinking, oh boy, now it's all over. No, that's I think what it's going to look like. A lot of it is going to look like that for the near future.
Well, I'll tell you, I put money a month ago on the money line for Vegas, and then the spread was 3.5, and just as the month went on, I just kept adding more and more money.
Oh, like a 401k.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't do it all at once.
Right.
You hit the market at different times.
That's one of the most. Well, no, I only took the points once, and then I just kept going. You know what? The more I heard people talk about the Patriots, and the more I went, what? Huh? I just started pounding the under on wins, pounding that Raiders money line. I mean, Jesus Christ! I have no idea why everyone was so confident they were going to win that game. You were now at the end of the week, people started kind of coming to their senses and realizing that there was a fairly substantial high-end talent differential on those teams, and also your coach is not a better coach than the coach that was across from him. So I don't understand really where all this confidence came from, but nonetheless, it worked out kind of like how you had to expect it would work out. Anyway, if you were paying any attention. But look, they're at a very bad team to next week, and they should be 1-1. If they lose that game, if they lose to the Dolphins, that's a problem. That's a big problem. That's a game they should win. That's a game that that's a game that if you're going to improve as a team, you really need to win because you're not beating the Steelers, and you could beat the Panthers. You could be 2-2, which is great, but you 1-3 against that schedule. That's no good.
But they're not so good in Miami either, friend.
Miami's real bad.
I don't believe in institutional things, but there is something about the Patriots playing in Miami. It's something about the laundry. I don't know. I don't know why, but it's a thing.
Miami's actually favored, according to what I'm looking at here.
Well, I would
2.5 points.
Las Vegas Raiders in town, and Raiders get the ball to start the game. How many plays would it take for them to march downfield on their scripted opening drive?
Smith with time, loads up, throws it down the middle, wide open. Tucker, touchdown, Las Vegas.
Hawkins. What a throw by Gino. That wasn't even in the same zip code. Hawkins got smoked.
Yes, he did 6 plays, 2 minutes, 43 seconds for the Raiders to find the end zone. Safety Jalen Hawkins slipped a little, fell down, and the Tucker ended up being wide open in the end zone for Geno Smith.
Not a lot of fun. I have to be honest with you. The Patriots were getting absolutely zero pressure by rushing just 4 guys. Remember we were talking about the lack of pass rushers and the lack of a game wrecker? That was the case, especially during that drive. Geno had a lot of time.
Yes. Pats would go 3 and out.
time all game.
When they didn't blitz, yes.
Yes.
Pats would go 3 and out on their first possession. So Raiders driving again. Remember Jalen Hawkins, the guy who got beat so bad on that first Raiders touchdown?
I do.
You remember that guy?
Smith under center. Nope. Fake boot to Genti. Bootlegs into the pocket. Has time. Throws it left. Passes tipped to the end. Deflected by Davis. Picked off by Hawkins along the far side of the 17-yard line.
That's where Gino kills you. He stared it down. It's a 2-man route. Nothing in the flood. Nothing in the flat. It's a 2-man route. And an under defender and over defender. It's tipped and picked.
So, redemption there for Jalen Hawkins as he gets the interception. And so the Patriots show a little life, start driving the ball. Drake Maye starts completing some passes. A couple of Kayshon Boutte, who gets banged up. So instead he goes to his tight ends. He finds Hunter Henry. He also found Demario Douglas.
Maye in the gun, left foot forward, takes the snap, drops back, looking left, throws it to the near side, diving catch, Douglas, touchdown, Patriots!
All right. So I talked about the other night with the quarterback. What are you looking forward to? More than 7 snaps. Get a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah. Demario Douglas, that was a nice catch for a touchdown, good route, whatever. Have you seen the stats for Douglas at the end of the game?
Not great.
2 catches, minus 2 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do, I'd say. Considering that, by definition, was for positive yardage.
Yeah, you would imagine the touchdown you'd have to at least
Get 1
a half
yard.
yard.
Yeah.
two catches on 7 targets with the touchdown, minus 2 yards.
Yeah. I dare to say that's probably not been done before.
I'm surprised he didn't manage to find Austin Hooper for more than 1 catch. He only targeted him once, and it was on that drive.
Because Henry left the field, if you remember correctly. He got hurt. He had to leave for a couple of plays.
Well,
he's going to be a big fan of Hunter Henry this year. That's going to, at least first half of the season, Hunter Henry's going to get a lot.
Who else are you going to go to?
Boutte would be the guy. Kayshon Boutte had a good game.
Boutte had a good game yesterday, no question. A lot of single coverage. He took advantage.
Diggs largely absent. Just it's just not a lot of looks his way. There's a comfort level that obviously isn't there yet, and he's just not ready for that many reps.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but Diggs was only in on first down for a large portion of time.
Not that
and then
many
they took
reps.
him off the field until the second half.
Pats would miss a 40-yard field goal in the first half, but make from 39 to take a 10-7 lead into the half. And things didn't go so well after that.
Maye back to pass, steps up, he's hit as he throws, and that pass hanging in the air is intercepted down the right seam. Palama with the pick as Maye tried to hit Diggs, it appeared, running up the right seam, but couldn't really step into the throw as he was hit in the chest, and the Raiders have their first takeaway.
Zoe could call it in the air. Oh, no. Listen.
Maye back to pass, steps up, he's hit as he throws, and that pass hanging in the air is
Oh, no.
You know what the Raiders did after sitting back and watching Drake Maye pick them apart in the first half? They decided to blitz a little bit. And wouldn't you know it, Drake Maye didn't handle it well, especially on that pass. Didn't handle the blitz well at all. And the offensive line struggled and things went downhill. But the lack of ability by Drake Maye to handle the blitz without being flustered in the second half yesterday was eye-opening.
I heard in the post game Greg Bedard talking about it. He was talking about how mechanically off he was.
Yeah.
So that's a little something.
He got rattled. It was
no, it's not just rattled. That his mechanics, just as a rule, are bad. I mean, he floated passes. Like Drake Maye wasn't just being confused by the defense or, under duress. He was also just floating passes. I mean, he was inaccurate yesterday. As a rule. I mean, you can look at the box score and go, all right, it's okay. But he missed wide open receivers on more than a couple of occasions.
Consistently high, yes.
Yeah, so this is last season. This is one of the things that we would talk about when we watched Drake Maye. It's like, oh, he's just a little juiced up. He just got a little too much on that one. Now, those same passes look like a guy who just isn't all that accurate yet. This isn't him being too amped. This isn't him being juiced. This is him throwing high balls.
And it's also because the expectations for him are far different now, as we have discussed, is that last year it was, wow, he's a really good athlete. He can do these incredible athletic feats. He can, roll out, throw off his back foot, 40 yards downfield. And that was enough. But people got sick of hearing it, but it's the way that it is that now so much more is expected of him. You have to hit open receivers. You can't turn the ball over. These are the things that you have to be able to do. And he missed wide open receivers. That's not being confused or getting hurried. Like you just
missing guys.
You can't miss guys in the NFL. And there's, to be fair, not many guys that will miss that many open receivers. If you look around week one, there's not a bunch of dudes sailing balls all the time over wide open receivers' heads.
And real quick, John, just not just missing receivers, Fred, but missing guys who are open and taking lesser options and missing those guys too.
Well, that's what I said.
Okay,
they're missing wide open receivers. Yes.
Yeah.
The other part of it is, now that we're talking about this, I'm not sure what it was. excuse me, in the second half. Obviously, Maye was rattled. The blitz had him rattled. He didn't perform well under pressure.
He also admits to being too amped up at the beginning of the games, which I'll give him, and it's good that he admitted it. So you do have that. Go ahead.
He missed a lot of receivers, open receivers, high, especially in that first quarter. But in the third quarter, when Pete Carroll decided to blitz him, it clearly affected him early. And I don't know if that was a carryover because he was missing receivers when he wasn't blitzed at times. Was that still his mechanics, or was he rattled because of what had happened to him previously? Now I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure which it is.
Well, yeah, that's for people far above our pay grade that analyze quarterback mechanics.
But it was clear, especially in the second half, where he had a very good second quarter. In the second half, he was off, and now I'm thinking, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure which specific thing it was.
But he is a kid, and again, this season he's just got to get better as the season goes on. He wasn't going to be Jaden Daniels this year. He wasn't. First of all, he's zero talent around him, but he's not going to be Jaden Daniels this year. You need to improve. He needs to get over his excitement at the beginning of games. He needs to be far more accurate. He needs to be able to handle pressure.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things that he needs to learn how to do.
If I'm Miami, I look at that tape and I say, I'll blitz this kid all day. Blitz him until he beats us. That's what I would do if I'm McDaniel. I look at that tape 5 seconds and say, Pete Carroll did the right thing in the third quarter. This is how we win the game.
And if you're,
he didn't. It's not like he went to Duke where he's going to light him up.
And
the quarterback yesterday did.
if you're looking to the defense to keep you in these games. I mean, all right, you held them to 20 points. By the way, the Raiders would make them pay on that turnover, and they would go up 14-10, kick a couple of field goals. All right, it's 20-10 by the time the dagger was really put in, and that was Carlton Davis, who was beat on a 3rd and 20. Geno Smith found Thornton on a pass that had no business being completed. They weren't even applying pressure. All you have to do is not allow the long pass downfield. Just stop that from happening, and they couldn't do it. And that was your ball game. Raiders go on to win by a final of 20-13.
Well, I didn't think the corners were bad. I didn't think the secondary was bad. The defense wasn't bad.
The defense, this is the thing. Harold Landry had 2.5 sacks, and he had 1 sack that I can remember when they rushed 4. He did a nice stunt inside, sacked the quarterback. But by and large, the Patriots had a real hard time getting home when they didn't blitz. And that's a problem. Especially, we were talking about the fact that they don't have that edge rusher. They don't have that game wrecker that you need to upset the offense. They have, instead of a 10 on the edge and maybe a 3 or a 4 inside, you got a bunch of 6s and 7s rushing the passer.
But that was another thing we never understood, is how that they were going to be such a great defense with no edge rusher. And I do believe, and look, it's one game and everything could change, but we did bring up to several people several times, if their defensive line is so good, where there's a reason edge rushers A, don't become free agents, and B, make the kind of money that they make, is because they're rare and they're very important, and they don't have one.
Apparently, Milton Williams, using advanced metrics, had himself a good game.
No, but his job's not to rush the passer.
His job is to make sure that no one runs up the middle. But
and also but he's there to create pressure. But I shouldn't say that. His job's not to sack the quarterback.
Yes,
his job is to create pressure up the middle, and to wreak havoc up the middle. But it's not necessarily to get home. Like, I don't think they think Milton Williams is going to have 15 sacks this year. I don't think that's the goal for him. And I guess I heard the same thing as you. I guess that he had a good game.
Advanced metrics-wise. But overall, like we were talking about in the first segment, if you believe this team was going to win 9 or 10 games, if you're a national guy, I heard a couple of national guys say 11 leading up to this.
So did I.
And you look at it and go, oh, my God. Oh, my God, look at this. They have how this guy was terrible, this guy was terrible, this guy was terrible. If you are a Patriots fan and you are much more realistic about this, you say, you know what? Will Campbell and Jared Wilson had themselves a really good game before things unraveled for them late in the third quarter. And they did unravel for them late in the third quarter. Kayshon Boutte was really good. You watch Drake Maye and you see the potential there. He wasn't running for his life like he was a lot of last year. He was able to stand in the pocket and deliver at times. He had himself a real good quarter and a half. These are the building blocks upon which you make a good team. Yeah. That's all I ever thought this team was. The roster last year when they ended the season was a 0. All the additions had made them a 3. And if you're really optimistic, a 4 out of 10. And so you saw some good things here.
I bet you
that's what you build on.
I bet you they're 4-4 going in. If an ideal situation, not ideal, an ideal situation would be 5-3. But I bet you they're 4-4 going in that Falcons game, and then the season will fall apart. But
I'll take that.
But if you're 4-4 going into that Falcons game, I think that's something Patriots fans, they weren't. I did not think there was any way they were going to win this game. They should win on Sunday. Their schedule, they're not going to beat the Steelers. Their schedule is the Steelers defense is really, even though it didn't play yesterday, is pretty good. TJ Watt might be the best defensive player in the NFL, but look, your schedule is easy at the beginning of the year.
Just trying to emphasize the positive here. You know what the Patriots were in that game? Competitive. How many games did we watch and we knew at the end of the first quarter or sometime in the second quarter that the game was over and they had no chance of winning, regardless of who the opponent was? Yesterday, the expectations have risen a little bit. They were competitive with that team. They had a chance to win that game. They were in it in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's different than the last 2 seasons. The addition of Vrabel and the addition of all of that talent and the rookies, 3 of whom started yesterday, mattered. That offensive line, I thought the left side of that offensive line was going to be in some serious trouble yesterday. And up until late in the third quarter, when things got out of hand, they kind of held up. You had two rookies starting at left guard and left tackle, and they held up.
And according to people that, again, analyzed the game after, Will Campbell was actually pretty good. It was the guard situation that was more of a problem on the left guard. So Will Campbell, though very publicly poor at the end,
yes,
was, I guess, to what people have been saying is he had 3 quarters worth pretty solid football.
Yeah, in the end, you look at it and you go, okay, 3 false start penalties. You allowed 2 sacks, one of which where the quarterback ran right into the guy he was blocking when Maye stepped up in the pocket.
And I heard Bedard say that wasn't his fault.
No, was it his fault?
Well, no, but it also wasn't like kind of his assignment. Like that was more again the guard.
But
whatever the hell his name is.
The point is, Campbell had more good than bad yesterday. And that's all you want from a rookie left tackle, that you want to protect your franchise quarterback. All I'm saying is Patriots lost. There are a lot of things you can pick apart, but if you're realistic and didn't expect much, this is a step forward from last year.
Hang on real quick. Let's take Phil. Phil, hello, Phil.
Hello. You know why Mr. Eagle loved the game so much? It was because of the big booty in the game. There's a lot of booty around. You know,
it set off his Siri to look for.
Yes, he was.
Porn.
He was just lathering at the mouth. Fred, it's weird though because I've never heard you sound so optimistic about the Patriots.
You never heard? I'm sorry. You never what?
Heard you so optimistic about the Patriots. I think it's just because you like them losing.
No,
or maybe Belichick not being there.
I hated Belichick. I hated the fan base, their reaction to everything that was happening as if they were some victimized group of people. I didn't care for that. And also,
you sound so really into him now. It's weird.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
I want the fan base because the fan base has experienced something they've never experienced before, and obviously the fan base have been very good to me. I've been here for almost 20 years. I do want the fan base to understand that I believe Vrabel's a good coach. I believe Maye could be a good quarterback. They're not going to win 11 games. They're not gonna. They never were. And they just don't have enough talent. So it's not a hard team to kind of root for because they're developing, and I just want people to understand that there's things to look for this season, even though they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yes, and almost ways to kind of trick myself into remaining engaged, because you watched that Baltimore-Buffalo game last night.
God.
It's a different product.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like they're playing.
Planet.
It's like
that team.
they're NFL teams. They're in the division. You might as well be watching a different sport. The way those two teams played versus the way the Raiders and Patriots played yesterday. So now what? Well, what Fred just said. Things to look for during the season. Signs of improvement. Ways to believe, and I believe too that they're on the ascension and that Vrabel's the right guy for this job, and Maye is, I still feel, the right quarterback, but it's going to take time, and to somehow make other people believe that if they get to 7 wins, that's still a good thing. Far short of the 9, 10, 11 nonsense that people were talking about up until 2 days ago.
And also, look, it would have been better if they won that game. That's a game that if they win, I do want them to be competitive going into December, which I do believe they will be. I think that they'll be one of those teams that are still in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like
they'll be like the last. They'll be like 6 and 8, and it says in the hunt.
Well,
yes.
but you don't underestimate the power of being in the hunt. And I'm not being sarcastic.
Oh, no.
Like at least there's something. There's a little bit of hope, and I do think they will be. I really do believe that. I just if they would have won almost yesterday, it might have been too much. It might have been too much,
but
it might have been because this game would have come back in some other way, and they would have lost to another team like this at home. And I just I didn't need that this morning.
Yeah, if Maye doesn't throw that pick and they don't get the touchdown and Davis doesn't allow that 3rd and 20 reception to go out, okay, it's a couple of plays you can kind of talk yourself into it, but still, you watch a couple of other games from around the league. You watch the way the Packers played yesterday. You watch the way those two teams played last night. And I understand, Fred, there's still going to be people saying, here we go. Super Bowl, here we come.
Yeah.
They're off to a 1-0 start. But it's still, there's a huge difference. Had they gotten that win yesterday and a couple of plays going the other way, they would have. It still looks so different from what the upper echelon teams are doing right now.
Right, because they'll never win games that way. I mean, they're never gonna win a game by scoring 40-something odd points. There's just not enough talent on the team. I think Travion Henderson, despite not gaining a lot of yards, is going to be. He's a running back, and he's not an every down back. But I think he'll be exciting. But you don't have any receivers. What do you want them to? How are they going to put up 40 points in a game? They're not going to.
I was watching Travion Henderson yesterday. And by the way, no screen passes in the face of all of those blitzes. You would think they would try and take some of the pressure off of the kid by throwing a screen or two to make the defensive line think. But I'm watching Travion Henderson run the ball. And he's fast, no problem. But I'm watching him seek out contact and trying to deliver blows to defensive backs. Run out of bounds. I don't want you to do that. If you're going to last a whole season, you can't take a lot of punishment.
Setting a
That's
tone.
what Ramondre is there for.
You're not. You were to set a tone. How dare you?
Okay.
He's setting a tone.
All right.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.